Hey, it's Barber Sauce, and this is my kids ball fade tutorial. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel at barbersauce00 and follow me on Instagram also at barbersauce00. Let's go. Here you see me starting off making a guideline by using my Babyliss Gold FX trimmers. I preferably like to work left to right, so I'm going to begin making my guideline on the left side. I'm going to clean it up, and then I'm going to move along to the right side. And as you see me going back and forth cleaning the area, you want to make sure that the area is clean as possible before you move on to the next step. The last thing you want to do is leave hair, which will leave lines of demarcation. As you see, starting off on the right side, making my guideline. I'm making my line symmetrical to the eyebrow. That way it gives me a straight line. And as I said before, I work left to right. So being that we're on the right side, I'm going to do the same exact step. I'm going to clean my area and make sure that it's clean thoroughly before I move on to the next step. And me, I would consider myself a bit of a perfectionist. You'll see me going back here, hitting the guideline a little bit more. I try to be as detailed and straight as possible. You don't really have to be that straight and neat. That's just my preference, but being detailed is part of the service. The second step, using my red Babyliss clippers, is setting the trimmers halfway and going up half an inch on the left side. You will see me close my clippers, and what I'm doing is taking out that bottom line. We're taking out that line using the clippers to the best of our ability without having to pick up the trimmers. You really don't want to use the trimmers until the very end to really detail the fade. Using trimmers early can cause demarcation and cause light spots in your fade. Details are a big thing to me, so you'll see me use my trimmers a lot of times at the very bottom of the fade. We're not going to go too high, just at the very bottom, cleaning those small little hairs that aren't that visible to the naked eye, but as a barber you can see things from certain angles that other people can't. And now we have the same thing on the right side where my clippers are halfway and I'm going up half an inch and I'm working that guideline out. We're working it out to the very end of the clipper. Do not give up. Work that line out and don't pick up those trimmers until the very end. Okay, now that I've worked that line out all the way through my clippers, now I'm going to pick up my trimmers and use them to detail the very bottom of that line on the right side. Making sure that the hair is combed out, now I'm going to take my one guard and go with the grain to knock some of the bulk down out of the hair. Once it's clean, I flip the trimmers over and go against the grain, closing my clippers halfway. And from halfway to close, and the next guard will be the zero guard. And man, you see my little man, he's asleep, man. Every time he gets in the chair, he's KOing, man. We call it clipper wop. He gets clipper whopped every single time. Now I'm going to take my zero guard closed halfway to take out the rest of that guideline, and we're going to work halfway to close. Once I'm done with the zero guard, I really go back through with just a clipper and do a detailed rundown of the whole entire guideline, just really hitting those spots that are noticeable or dark, or I need them to lay down properly. I always go back through and thoroughly check the entire guideline to make sure that my fade is on point and that my levels are consistent and the depth of my fade is definitely on point. So be sure to always go back and double check your work. Nothing is wrong with going back checking your work. And on the other side, it's basically the same thing. I'm gonna start off with my one guard going with the grain, knocking some of that bulk out. Once I knock the bulk out, I'm gonna turn the clipper over, close it halfway, and we're gonna go up against the grain. And once we go up against the grain using the halfway, we're gonna close it and work that down to the zero guard, and the zero guard down to the clipper. And that clipper is used at the end, more so detailing. The fade is just about faded by the time you get to that step. If it isn't, that means you need to flick your wrist more and get deep in depth into that guideline. Don't be scared to get into it. So I'm almost finished with this left side of the fade. I'm going in again with my clippers, just detailing, scanning, making sure that all lines of demarcation are gone. I'm knocking out those dark spots, making sure that my fade is laid down to my level of perfection. Now this particular edge up, you will see me comb out the small hairs in the front due to the growth that had been growing previously. So what I did was I take the one guard, you'll see me open it up all the way. I go with the grain, knock it down some of that bulk, and making sure I clean that area really good before I start the edge up. I would suggest using a razor comb to finish it before moving on to an edge up. My opinion, it works great. I use it. I suggest everyone use it. You'll see me here using my light brown barber pencil to create a highlight on my edge up. I usually try to give each edge up a little bit of its own pop. So using this light brown barber pencil usually gives the edge up that pop that I'm looking for. And here we always gonna have a double check. I'm always gonna double check the work, go back in, comb the hair out, get those small hairs that may be leaning over the edge. Making sure we tap the line, not too much digging. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at BarberSauce00 and add me on Instagram at BarberSauce00.